For the cheapest coins with fast delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor, Red Zone Coins, and use code SWIFT at checkout for 20% off.
Social family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden 20 video on the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over 4 developer golden tickets, which we got confirmed to be coming out in the game in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to go over the cards, predict some of their stats based on their current card, and also talk about whether you should maybe be considering some of these options with your free golden ticket player selection. Now, these cards are going to be releasing either this Thursday or next Thursday, and then next Friday is when we're all going to be able to select our free golden ticket. So these players will be out by the time you're going to be selecting your player, and you will of course be able to see their confirmed stats by then. Right now, EA actually hasn't released any information about the stats of these 4 developer golden tickets, so that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video, is kind of predicting those stats and talking about some of those cards. Now, before we hop into this one, I know I haven't dropped a gameplay in a few days, so what I'm going to probably do is post a gameplay on either Friday or Saturday as a double upload instead of just making it one video in that one day, because I know gameplays are only for some of my audience. Some of you guys like them, some of you guys don't, so I'm going to hopefully post those on double upload days. But if you do want to see me play in the game, I am going to be live on Twitch tonight, and I'm posting a video on my second channel, actually my first video I posted there tonight as well. Both of those should be going live around 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. The links to both of those are down below in the description. Now, without further ado, let's hop into this one. Everyone drop a like on the video. Let me know which one of these golden tickets you think is going to be the best, and if you would actually consider any of these with your free selection. And the first thing that I want to do before I actually hop into the stat predictions is let's go over the cards. We're going to get a Quincy Aiyuk, we're going to get a Brian Dawkins, we're going to get a Keith Bulluck, and a Anthony Barr. So those are the 4 developer golden tickets, and we also have a Cam Newton and a Jalen Ramsey. Those are the 2 cards that users actually created, so we have 6 remaining cards that are going to be coming out into the game. Now, I'm just going to quickly predict when these are going to come out, and then we'll hop into seeing the stats of the developer GTs. So I think the Cam Newton and the Jalen Ramsey will definitely be coming out this week. It seems like EA's been releasing all of the user-created golden tickets first, so I'd assume they're going to keep up on that trend. Then in terms of developer golden tickets, they'll probably release one of them this week as well, because they've been releasing 3 golden tickets each week. I would expect that that's going to be Anthony Barr or Keith Bulluck. I don't think they're going to want to release 2 linebackers in the same drop, so I would expect either Keith Bulluck or Anthony Barr this week, and then the other one of them next week, as well as Quincy Aiyuk and Brian Dawkins. So let's start it off by going over some of the stats, and what I actually want to do first is kind of give you guys a guideline for what we can use to compare these golden tickets and kind of make some predictions about them, because as you guys can see right here, Michael Vick has a 99 and he has a golden ticket, but the stats on these cards are not the same at all. The golden ticket stats are much more juiced. When you look at the throw accuracy, when you look at the speed, basically all of these stats are going to be a few points higher than his ultimate legend. So when we're predicting the stats for these golden tickets, we have to account for that. We have to account for the fact that EA is going to be juicing up a few of the stats, because of course creators are able to pick a couple stats to juice up, and then in general it seems like they also just give these golden tickets better stats, which they rightfully should, rather than the regular cards in the game. So let's start it off by going over Anthony Barr. I think he's got a pretty interesting card. Right now he's got a 97 in the game, so we're going to take a look at that card and make some predictions about it. So let's start it off by going over this Anthony Barr card right here. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of predict some of the stats which you can see on his golden ticket, and then I'm also going to give some suggestions or places where I think it would be good if the developers increase those stats, because if you guys did not know, when you create a golden ticket, you're going to be able to juice up a few of the different stats. It's not going to be the speed or acceleration ones, but you can juice up any of the other stuff like tackling, power moves, finesse moves, and all that good stuff. So looking at the back of the card, 6'5" is absolutely awesome. This is going to be, of course, more of a user defender. You're not going to have this guy just playing in space, because again, the power move, the finesse move isn't amazing. His zone coverage is solid, but this should probably be your user. So to start off with, I really hope that they do increase that speed up a couple of points. I hope we can get that up to like 94. Then you can get that up a decent amount with like Brawler, Sprinter, and John Madden Chem. So hopefully they get him up to 94 speed, 95 excel. The strength is pretty low. That'll probably go up to like 83 or something like that. The tackling and the play rec are nice. I think those should go up to like 98, 99 for both of them. The block shed is a place where I would probably recommend, if the developers haven't chosen yet, that they use their like developer boost on that, or they use the boost on that, because if you get the block shed up to like a 96 with a boost, that would be pretty nice for run defense, because of course this card is going to be your user, so you're going to want solid block shed in case you get caught up on an O lineman or a tight end to be able to shed that quickly. Power move and finesse move, no reason to touch it. There's no reason to get the power move or finesse move up to like a 70. That's not going to make a difference from a 65, and power move and finesse move are only for when you're pass rushing, guys. So there's no reason to get that up because of course you're not going to have this card pass rushing ever, and if he does get caught on an O-lineman when he's pass rushing, he's simply not going to get by him. So next up, what I want to do is take a look at some of the other stats. Catching is a very, very interesting one. This card is already really tall, so I think it would be pretty glitchy if they increase catching or jumping. Would be really, really cool if they do that. As you can see right now, his catching is a 67, so if they were to increase that, that would be kind of cool. Or if they increase jumping and they get the jumping up to like a 95, that'd be nice as well, because again, you're really just wanting to tailor this card to being the best user possible. So that's why I would recommend maybe one of those two stats. They could increase zone as well. Right now, when you take a look at his zone coverage, it looks like it's sitting at about an 80. If they don't touch that, that should probably go up to like an 83, 84. If they do, they could maybe get that up to an 88 to 89. So definitely a few places where there's definitely potential for this card, and if it's done right with high speed, maybe they increase the jumping a nice amount, he could be a super glitchy user, but we'll see how they end up doing with the card. Definitely an interesting one right there, and we'll see what it ends up turning out to be. Now, next up, we are going to take a look at 83 overall Quincy Enunwa, and I actually think that there is some really solid potential for this card. At an 83 overall, it's tough to see where the upgrades are going to come from because there's a lot of potential for EA to improve the stats of this card, but a couple of things that I really like in a wide receiver. At this point in the game, you want high speed, so he's got 85 speed on an 83 overall card. That's really, really good. 87 excel is, again, a thing that you really like to see, and the agility. So those three things are there, which is great. When you take a look at the catching and stuff like that, I mean, that will meet all the thresholds, but one other place that I would really say is important that gets upgraded is going to be the run blocking. So as we continue to take a look at the stats, the run blocking on this card is actually really good for an 83. He's got 57 run blocking. Now, when we compare that to another golden ticket, Julio Jones, I believe Julio Jones has under 60 run blocking as well. So for an 83 overall, to have that good of a run block, that's just going to get boosted up in general to probably like a 65, 66, or something in that range if the developers don't touch it. But let's say they do touch it and they make that one of the stats to get boosted. If that gets up to 70 plus or 75 or something like that, that's really crazy run blocking for a wide receiver, and that could make this card really glitchy, and actually it could make him better than Julio Jones, because again, Julio Jones, everyone loves the fact that Julio has the great catching traffic, spec catch, and all that route running stuff. It's all really good, it's all really high, but in Madden, one thing that you really need to do is just hit thresholds. So if you're hitting like 95 plus catching traffic, spec catch, short route running, and all that stuff, you're not going to see a physical difference on the card. So a reason why this Quincy Aiyuk could be really good is if he gets that speed and all that other stuff hits the thresholds, but the run blocking could be where the difference comes in. So really curious to see what the developers do with this card. Of course, you're probably going to want to also boost up maybe like catching traffic. That just looks like it's one of the low stats on the card, and I feel like catching traffic is decently important as you're taking a hit stick. That would probably be the most important catching stat, but the route running stuff should all meet thresholds. I would expect all 95 pluses on those, and then the catching should end up being in the mid 90s. They could boost that up as well if they'd like. Speed should be around 98, 99, and then if the run blocking ends up getting to like 75 plus, that could make this card better than Julio Jones. So definitely a very interesting one right here. I'm really curious to see how he ends up turning out, because he actually could be a better card than Julio Jones, and I know a lot of people are thinking about selecting Julio, so Quincy actually could end up being a better card, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Next up, of the developer golden tickets, we're gonna have 97 overall Brian Dawkins. Now, the whole question with this card for me is he better than Calvin Johnson? Because a lot of people are thinking of selecting Calvin. So if this card is better, people will go with him as their free safety. If not, people are gonna go with Calvin. So that's mainly what I'm gonna do, is kind of compare these two cards. Let's take a look at the back, because right now, these stats for 97 are super good. He's gonna be sitting at 93 speed, 91 acceleration, 95 play rec, 95 pursuit, 94 zone, and 96 hit power. And what I want to do right off the bat is I want to compare this to Calvin's 96 overall card, because Calvin went from a 96 to a 99, and Dawkins will be going from a 97 to a 99. So firstly, let's just take a look at the Calvin 96 so we can kind of get a baseline for how EA does their changes and does their upgrades to these golden tickets, who are around the same range and around the same position. So as we take a look at it, he's got 91 speed, 90 excel, 86 tackle, and some pretty good stats on this card. Now what I'm going to do right here is we're going to keep in mind those stats, and we're going to see what they got bumped up to for his 99 overall golden ticket, which right now is selling at 5 mil, and this card got all the way up to 97 speed, 96 acceleration, a good tackle, good play rec, good pursuit. The zone and the hit power are nice as well. So the speed ended up getting to a 97, and it was on the 95 overall card. It was sitting at what looked to be like a 91 right here. So I would say that we would probably expect a pretty similar speed on Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins had 93 speed on a 97 overall card. So maybe Brian Dawkins' speed ends up being at like 96, a little bit lower than the Calvin Johnson. The zone, the hit power, it all looked really good on his 99. They really juiced up a lot of the stuff. Tackle, pursuit, play rec. It was all up there in the high 90s on this Calvin Johnson golden ticket. So taking a look at it, it looks like EA did a really good job of boosting up the stats on this card. Now let's just quickly compare those boosts and see what those boosts would look like on the Brian Dawkins. So we're going to go back over to the Dawkins card right here, and we're going to kind of compare and see, okay, so EA boosted the stats by that much on the Calvin from his 95. Let's see what type of boost they would give to this Brian Dawkins 97. So looking at his 97, I'm expecting the play rec, the pursuit, the tackle, all that stuff to be in the 97 to 98 range. Maybe the tackle's a little bit lower. His zone coverage should go up to what looks to be around like a 98. Hit power should be at a 99. The only thing that concerns me on this card is going to be the speed. If EA ends up giving him like 98 speed, I would probably go with this card over the Calvin Johnson, but if EA ends up giving him like 96 speed, then I might go with the Calvin Johnson over this card. Of course, people are going to be able to boost the players up, so I mean, if he does end up getting to like 97 speed, or 96 speed, sorry, you're going to be able to boost that up by 1 with John Madden, and then 2 with Brawler, so you can still get up to 99, but the issue is you're going to lose some acceleration. So definitely very curious to see how EA makes this card. I think it's got potential to be better than the Calvin, but we'll have to see when we end up comparing them. Again, I'd expect around 96 speed, 95 acceleration, maybe the tackling to be at like a 98 or 99 if the developers boost that up. They should also boost up zone to make sure that gets up to like 99. Hit power as well will easily go up to a 99, and this card honestly looks pretty good. He's going to be smaller than the Calvin, so that's one thing to consider, but we're going to be able to compare the cards and we'll see which one is better, and I can see some people definitely going with the Dawkins over the Calvin Johnson. I can see the stats being a tiny bit better, but the height is where you guys are going to have to see another major difference. So definitely an interesting card. And now let's move on to the final player, which is Keith Bulluck. So for this Keith Bullitt card, he actually got a gauntlet player. I didn't end up selecting him. So the way I'm gonna have to show you guys his stats is by looking through this and showing you guys these stats over here. We'll be able to compare them to these stats, so you guys will be able to see all the stats that are gonna be on this card. As you can see, he's sitting at a 97 overall. He's only got 90 speed, 91 acceleration right off the bat. That's super tough to see. Again, those stats are actually the same as the Anthony Barr. I believe Anthony Barr also had 90 speed, 91 excel, so I'm hoping that they end up boosting those. As we take a look at the coverage on this card, he's almost like a safety playing at linebacker with bigger size. He's gonna have 88 zone coverage, which is super high, 91 man coverage. The play rec is great as well. Pursuit and block shed are nice. But the only thing about this Keith Bullitt card is he's going to be smaller than the Anthony Barr, so you're not going to get that same height boost and jumping boost and stuff like that as a user defender. This card is interesting. I don't think I would use my selection on him. The reason for that is if you want to play with a safety at linebacker, you can literally do that, and that seems to be what this card is like, except he's not going to be fast as some other safeties that are on the field. Again, expect the stats to be similar to the Anthony Barr. At a 97, he's at 90 speed. Let's say they boost that to a 93 to 94. Agility is decent as well. The jumping's an 88, so nothing too spectacular. His block shedding is at a 90, which is good, but I feel like the reason I'd go with Anthony Barr over this player would probably be so that I could user with the Anthony Barr. He could be super glitchy as a user, but in my opinion, it's probably not worth selecting a golden ticket that you're just gonna have playing in zone or playing in like run support or something like that. I would rather sub in a safety to be able to do those things. An interesting card, an interesting selection. We'll see how high the zone coverage ends up getting to. If the zone ends up getting to like a 96, that could be kind of glitchy, but we'll see. Man coverage at a 91 as well. Play rec is good as well, but just an interesting card all around for sure with the Keith Bulluck, and an interesting selection. I think the ones you guys honestly should be considering would be the Dawkins and the Enunwa. I think those are the two most interesting players that are getting released. If the Dawkins is better than the Calvin and some people want a free safety, you could look that route, and I think that the Enunwa could be sneaky good with how high that run blocking was. He could end up being better than the Julio Jones. We'll see how it all shakes out though. I'm excited to see the stats on these cards as they do end up getting released, and of course, if you guys don't know how to get your free golden ticket, or you want to see my rankings for all the golden tickets that have been released, those two videos were posted on my channel a few days days ago, and you can definitely go check those out. I hope to see you guys all in the stream on Twitch. Should be live at around 8 o'clock Eastern time, and hope to see you guys there. But until then, I'm out. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Don't talk so fast.